Now, are you not sure if you have what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur? And do you wonder why some people's business just sizzles and it's just on fire, and your business is fizzling and it's not really happening the way you want it to? Well, in the next 30 minutes, Amy Yamada and I are going to talk to you about top 10 qualities of successful entrepreneurs. So this is more the inner game that we're playing rather than the outer game here. So it's going to be a great show. I'm really looking forward to it because I know I just put a few of the tips out there in my blog and I didn't tell you all the top 10. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dana Smithers. I'm a certified law of attraction trainer and business coach. And I work with mainly women solopreneurs who are either starting a business, or many of the women that I work with are in that age group 50 to 65, and they're actually starting over. So they may have had a business, it didn't quite work out. Now they're taking a look at how they can really make a contribution to the world, because I think that's what happens now. I'm loving to see it in young women like Amy who really get how much of a difference they can make. I didn't know what Amy knows at her age, but it's okay. You know, she's gonna speak to the younger audience coming up, and I'm gonna hope that I capture those women that are in that 50 and over age group, because I became a solopreneur when I was 50. So I took my leap of faith, and I'd always been in corporate. I always had the weekly paycheck, the medical benefits, all of that. And one day I just said, that's it, I'm done. And I didn't know what I was going to do. But anyway, that's a whole other story. So today's topic is top 10 qualities of successful entrepreneurs. And I am so delighted to introduce Amy Yamada to you today. So Amy, welcome to the show, interview with successful women in business, I should say. So I know that my audience would love to hear more about you, how you came to do what you're doing, and even how you and I attracted each other. So welcome, Amy.
Oh, thank you so much. This is such a joy, and good morning to everyone. This is really exciting to me. Dana, I just love what you're about. Your energy is so positive. I think everyone feels that warmth from you. And yeah, so Dana and I connected only recently, but we definitely felt a really great connection between us.
But past life connection.
Past life connection, definitely. And so we'll talk about the project I'm working on a little bit later, but we connected and we talked about breakthroughs in business, and I really wanted her to be a part of the project that I'm in the midst of right now. Again, we'll talk about that later. And it was just really exciting to get to know you, Dana, and know what you're about, and just know that really when you allow yourself to experience this life in such a positive way, it makes all the difference. And I think that a lot of people go through life and they're not awake. And it sometimes takes a life awakening experience, which I know you shared with me what one of yours was a really big moment. I could just picture it when you were sharing it with me. And it's when we have those moments, whether it's a difficult experience or a positive one, whatever it may be, it's just about allowing ourselves to really open our eyes and say, okay, what am I supposed to do here? You know, what is my purpose here? What did I come here to do? And really allow yourself to explore that. So I'm really excited to reconnect already again today. Yeah. And as far as my background goes, so currently I am a business coach for coaches and entrepreneurs. And I just definitely am one of those people who have always have had an entrepreneurial spirit, although I worked for the local media in the greater Seattle area for about 14 years before I decided to take that leap of faith and go off on my own. And so my background is all in advertising, sales, promotions, marketing. I've done a lot of speaking. I love writing, copywriting, whether it's for personal or business. And I just have such a passion for empowering others to build their dreams and have some fun with it.
That's wonderful. Yeah, thanks so much. Another interesting how we've connected as well. Another program that I mentor women through as well is called Discover Your Sacred Gifts. And just listening to Amy, I can hear that gift of encouragement, the gift of writing, and so many other gifts that we have. And it's those gifts that really are our inner guide to the passion that we have in life. So I think that what I'd like our audience to do right now is grab some pen and paper, because that just is a perfect segue into tip number 1 about some of the quality. These are not necessarily in the order of importance, but they're just ones that Amy and I came up with together. There are only 10. We could go on for hundreds and hundreds, but I think this, the first one, so top 10 qualities of successful entrepreneurs. The first one is know your why. Why are you in business? And why are you passionate about what you're doing? So Amy, maybe you could just talk a little bit about how you went from that media world into, you know, what was your why? What did you get passionate about? What spoke to you?
Yeah, definitely. So, well, I've always been one of those very social people person, right? And anytime I would meet with, whether it was listeners of the radio station or readers of the magazine, I worked both in radio and in the magazine world, and of course I worked with the businesses that wanted to grow and reach that audience. And so, what I loved the most was bringing everyone together. So, oftentimes when I would talk to business owners, it wasn't just about me selling advertising. I would say, so, okay, this is great. I love that we're working together on an ad campaign. Tell me what else you're doing. And then I would get to know them as a person. I would say, tell me, what are your dreams? Like I always ask people, this is my signature question. What is your dream case scenario? I want to know what gets you really excited about what you're doing. And so when they would share that with me, that's what lit me up. I would get so excited about what they're doing because I could see and feel their passion. And so it made me feel like I could be that catalyst for change and say, okay, well, if you're not there, where are you in relation to that goal? And let's start taking steps to get there. So it's almost like giving them that sacred space in order for them to be able to dream again and work towards that goal and that dream. So I just get so passionate about that.
Well, I think, you know, when we are passionate about our business, other people become passionate about our passion, right? Because they get inspired what we're doing. And you know, sometimes people will say to me, well, not sometimes, many times, well, you know, I get that you really love that you do. Well, that's what gets me up in the morning. You know, that is what gets me through some of the curveballs that we get thrown in life, right? You know, none of us have a straight and narrow path with no forks in the road of life. I mean, we're human beings, and you know, while we're on a spiritual journey, we still are having a human experience. So some of those things come in. So thanks so much for that. So number 2, I'm going to talk about this one. Operate with a positive mindset. And, you know, if that was the only thing we told people, I mean, that comes into your why, your passion, all of that, because that's where the positive energy gets going. So I'm just going to do a really short little law of attraction teaching point here. If you haven't got my ebook, yep, it's over there. Just go to my website, danasmithers.com, and in the top right-hand corner, Law of Attraction for Women in Business, The Power of Your Words, because everything starts with your words. So this is how it works in a really quick format. So everything starts with our words. So whatever you're thinking about your business, are you feeling good? Let's say, you know, you get up in the morning and the first thing you want to do is set your intention. Well, I know, Amy, that you and I did that, right? It's like, man, I'm going to have a fun day with Amy today. Can't wait to do it. It's going to be so much fun, right? So everything starts with those words. And the thoughts that came into my head were, wow, you know, I'm really going to enjoy this. I'm going to get to know Amy a little bit more. I hope to start to get to know her, the people that follow her as well, and her people can follow me. And, you know, it just uplifts everybody. But the most important thing is the vibes. So from those words, we emit a feeling or a mood or a vibe or a vibration. And it's from that vibration, because, you know, you can say the words, but it's really how you feel. Everything's about how you feel. That's how you really manifest. So when you get the results that you're getting in your business, and if you're not getting positive results, then you need to go back here, change those vibes. But you go back to your thoughts, you go right back to your words. What are you saying to yourself? And words either have a beautiful positive vibration, and we know those kinds of words. Amy, you're already there. You know, you're almost levitating, right? Or they can have a negative vibe, right? And we all know what those are. You know, if we start our day feeling really grouchy and cranky and we don't have that positive mindset, law of attraction's job is to match vibration. So you're just going to get more of the same.
Can I add one thing to that, Dana?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when it comes to words, I love what you're sharing. It's so important. And one of my mantras is everything with purpose, right? And so if you think about everything with purpose, then hopefully your words have a positive purpose and not a negative one. Right. So when you're about to say something, think about who you're saying it to and think about how it's being received. If the only outcome is to make them feel bad, then I would check yourself and say, why am I saying that? You know, and I was just talking about this with someone the other day because we were in a meeting, and it's easy when things aren't going as planned with a team of people, for example, planning an event. And if somebody says, well, we should have done that, or why didn't anybody do this? Think about the only outcome of that kind of a sentence is that one that you show, the negativity, right? That's negative. So just be mindful of your words and how they make people feel. And always think everything with purpose.
Right. And how you feel when you say them. And the next one, number 3, is take calculated risks. So why don't you tell us about that, Amy? Because you do a lot with the gals that you're or the people that you're coaching as well. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. So I think that a lot of times entrepreneurs we're really passionate about what we do. And at the same time, we are in this human being experience where we have things called bills and responsibilities. And just as you're first getting started, there's a little bit of that fear of uncertainty for most people because they haven't built a solid foundation from which to build upon. So when you think about calculated risks, it's really thinking about, okay, for example, if you're going from working for someone else in a job, right, working a job, then how are you going to go from having that income that's coming in on either if you're on commission or on a salary, it's coming in on a pretty regular basis. So you know it's coming in, hopefully you know what's going out and where it's going and what savings you're putting aside. But think about the transition from A to B. You know, we talk about building a bridge in lots of different ways. Think about how you're going to build that bridge. And I was just talking to another entrepreneur about taking a leap of, I always say, take a leap of faith, and said, you know, you're really actually building a bridge. Leaping, we like to say a leap of faith, like we're just going to leap and everything's going to be fine, or maybe it won't be. But think about actually doing the math, right? Do the math and say, okay, what do I need to do in order to go from what I'm used to doing and receiving when it comes to money, and then how am I going to have that solid financial foundation with the abundant mindset and, of course, attracting what you want, but also do the math. And so that you know that you have a solid plan so you can build a solid foundation from the very beginning.
Right. That's great. And that's why we're calling it a calculated risk, right? When I say I took my leap of faith from corporate, I had a plan. I was 5 days in corporate and 2 days part-time. I started out as an interior decorator when I left corporate. So I then went from my 5 days corporate to 4 days to 3 days, and I started teaching interior decorating at night school, and I did part-time work for very little money on the side, but I was learning my trade, right? So we wanted that calculated risk that we're taking. Yes, I was only being paid so much per hour. That's not why I was doing it. It was priceless in terms of training and what I was learning about the business, right? So that's why we're saying, you know, calculated, like get out a calculator and, you know, start checking that out, right? Okay.
Right.
So quality number 4, know when you need to be adaptable and flexible. Because Amy just talked about, okay, we've got all these plans and this is the way things are going. And, you know, I've been an entrepreneur for over 12 years now. Did everything always go the way I thought it would? No, and I'm sure Amy could answer the same, right? But, you know, when those little places come up where we have to build that bridge and get over it to the other side, you know, we have to be adaptable and flexible. You know, I started certain services in my business, whether you have services or products, it doesn't matter. If something's not working and people are not buying it, you either need to revisit, you know, was it just something that meant something to you, or maybe you're not marketing it properly, right? But you've got to be flexible. You know, there's that expression, you know, cut your losses. You know, I was talking with a woman yesterday, just in a complimentary coaching call, and she told me in the last 2 years, she started a business, but now she's never made any money. So Amy,
Yeah.
I know what you would say, and I know what I said to her in a very loving way, like, is this something that you want to continue doing, or do we want to work on it? Do you want to build the business? And we kind of concluded that her heart really wasn't in it. So, that's a good time to explore things. Again, it's about that feeling. If you're not feeling it, then it's probably not the right thing. Now, I know this one is for you, Amy. This number 5 is believe in yourself. And let's do the I am statements here. So believe in yourself. Yeah. I am.
One of my favorite ones. So the 2 most powerful words that you can say are I am. So we'll see or hear a lot of entrepreneurs that will say, oh, I wish I could do this, or even people in general, I wish I could do that, or if I could do anything, this would be so great. And those are lovely. And at the same time, they're not empowering. They're not saying, you've made a decision, you've made a commitment, and I am doing this. I am doing this. So right now, for those of you who are taking notes and thinking about, wow, gosh, yeah, I have this dream and I really want to do this, stop saying I really want to and just say, I am doing this. Yeah. I am doing this. And it's such an exciting way to be. And the example that I'll give is that a number of years ago, I decided that I really wanted to do more speaking, as we're speaking today, but really I was specifically wanting to do more speaking from the stage. So I just decided that I am doing this, and I started telling people I am now offering the service of speaking at benefit galas, doing emceeing, hosting, motivational speaking at conferences. I am offering this. I am doing this. And what was so amazing was that you're in the present state, and you're exuding that energy of I'm already the person that you will see on stage. Yeah. And I started receiving requests to speak on stage. Yeah. So I empower all of you to use the words I am when you decide you want to do something. Just say I am doing it, and it will happen.
Perfect. And in a lot of my training that I do on law of attraction, we talk a lot about affirmations and why they work and why they don't work. So, that I am one. Another one that we do, and it's for those people that are sort of in between where you're at with the I am, like that's solid. I am teaching this, I'm doing this, I'm attracting this. We use the expression I'm in the process of attracting my dream speaking engagements, right? And for me, I had done what I call a vibrational business plan, and I put on it, I'm looking at it right now, that I'm in the process of attracting more opportunities for getting my message out there, whether it's blog talk radio, and whether it's doing series like this. And in the last week, I've attracted 4 opportunities for series like this. And I went, okay, awesome, bring it on, right? And so I'm not only in the process of it, I'm doing it, right? So it's fabulous when that happens. Okay, next one, number 6. Yeah, I'm going to talk about part of this, and then I want Amy to add a little bit here. So use disciplined dedication. Disciplined dedication to achieving your goals through commitment. So, we have to be persistent. We have to be focused on what those goals are. But first and foremost, you need to be clear on what your goals are. Like Amy, you just said your goal of attracting more speaking opportunities, whether they was MC, this type of thing, whatever, right? You were absolutely clear. The universe gets it. You sent out the order, filled, right? Next order, filled, right? But if we're all wishy-washy and we're like, well, I kind of like it to happen, it'd be really nice, like it would probably help my bottom line, that's not very disciplined, and it's sure not very dedicated to what you want to achieve. So that's really important. Have disciplined dedication. And then Amy, let's have you talk a little bit about the commitment part of it, because that's super important.
Definitely. So it kind of ties in with the last one of just saying I am doing it. And it's it's the difference between saying, I just heard a fellow entrepreneur say this. So Brad, if you're listening, I just wanted to give him credit. But he said the difference between saying this is my goal and this is what I'm committed to achieving. And so we started talking about what our commitments were versus our goals. And goal setting is great, but how great is it when you say, I'm committed to this?
Yes.
And when you're committed, then you have decided that this is happening. It's happening so much so that it is as if it has already happened.
Right.
You feel as though you're already at the finish line. So it's more exciting that way because everything that you're doing is getting you to that destination.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know you're going to be there. And you're like, I'm so excited because I know I'm going to be there. I can't even wait, you know? And it's not that every single day is perfect. And this is coming from a recovering perfectionist, I would say that. But focus on progress over perfection and you will get there. Just take one step at a time every single day. Stay committed and know that it will come to fruition.
Right. Absolutely. That's great. And, you know, that commitment, it's a much stronger word. Like we say, we get clear on what we want. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, you put it out there. And then, you know, that part that's missing is, well, what are the action steps that you're going to take, right? And with law of attraction, we always say, you know, if you're procrastinating on something, it may be for a few reasons. It may not be the right time. Things in the universe may not be aligned up where it could be a more powerful business opportunity for you. Or, you know, only you can examine that. Are you just really dragging your feet because you don't want to do it? Or, you know, what you need to release some blocks there because something's going on. But when you say, I'm committed to achieving this, I'm committed to making, you know, 10 sales calls a day, I'm committed to making, you know, a blog post every day, I'm committed to networking, you know, with 6 groups a month this week. You know, when you make that commitment, you're going to go ahead and do it.
Right.
Right. And we all know that it's even stronger if you're saying it to somebody, writing it down, but saying it to somebody, and, you know, put it out there on Facebook or something. Tell people what you're committed to, and they'll hold you to it. You know,
definitely.
Yeah. Okay, great.
And one really quick thing on that, just because this has helped some of my clients and I want to share it. It's so silly, so silly, but I've been doing this for years. When you set the intention at the beginning of the day, I'm making 10 sales calls, or I'm going to, you know, write that blog. Here's the key. Okay. Are you ready? Because there's times when we just don't want to do it. There's moments where I'm like, I just don't want to do this right now. But then I think to myself, you know what? The tomorrow Amy is going to thank the today Amy for just getting it done.
Yes. Perfect. So
dedicate it to your future self. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So we get this done today. I'll be good tomorrow. Right. Okay. Perfect. Quality number 8 is, and I absolutely believe this, and I think Amy and I exemplify this, and so many of, you know, my colleagues do as well. Be a lifelong learner. Be a lifelong learner. But Amy, I'm actually going to let you do this next part because I know this is a bit of a bugaboo with you. Be a lifelong learner. Keep learning things. You know, sometimes we can get overwhelmed, though, with all the things that are out there to learn. So you've got to get focused on what makes the most sense to, whether it's a program you're going to take right now, you know, a course that you're going to go to, whether it's online or offline or whatever. You know, look at it. Is it a book you're going to pick up? Is it somebody's blog? Is it a piece of inspiration you're going to get every day? But we've got to be continually learning. Amy and I were just talking about these Google Hangouts. They're fairly new. I've been doing them for about the last year, but, you know, it's taken me a while. I am not a super techie person, but definitely there's not a sacred gift, but it's a skill that I could learn. So, you know, I keep learning new things because we want to be trailblazers in our business. We want to know more than what our clients know. So Amy, let's put this one for you, the I already know that syndrome.
Yes, the I know syndrome. So my dear friend Katie Wygant and I came up with this one because we do a lot of workshops together. And so the I know syndrome is anytime you listen to even something like this, or you're at a conference, or you're in a meeting with a sales director, whoever you might be listening to, and when you hear them teaching something, training something, leading a topic, and the first thought that comes to mind is, yeah, I know, I already got this. I don't need to listen. I know everything. And I used to do this, right? Until someone called me out on it. And the sad thing is that when you allow that thought to happen and you decide you're not going to listen anymore, you might miss out on something, and you might learn something new around that topic if you just allow yourself to be open. Also, it's good to hear it again because frequency and consistency works. And finally, you are at a new vantage point today than you were yesterday or 10 years ago when you first heard about this topic.
Yeah.
So just set your ego aside, because that's all it is. We want to just be masterful at everything. So set your ego aside, be open to say, okay, you know what? I just might learn something new today about this topic. And it doesn't hurt to be open to receiving.
Right, exactly. I love the way you put that, because, you know, something, even books I'll pick up and I'll go, and I'll swear that that chapter was not in that book before, because I've read this book, you know, 2 or 3 times, and I never saw that before, right? So it's, you know, as we move along, and also we're attracted to different things at certain times in our life. There may be something in, you know, that we did learn, but we now at this point in time have a different perspective on business or life, and even how we perceive things, because you know, perception is everything, right? So if like you said, if you say, well, I know that, you know, and you shut off your mind, you're nothing is open to receive, right? It's like shutting down your computer. Okay, nothing's going to come in. So I really like that one, because yeah, I would say that I'm guilty of it as well, right? I know that, but and I'll say, and then if I end up somewhere and somebody's talking about something, I'll go, nope, I'm here for a reason. And sure enough, there'll just be something. It's like, I never heard it put that way before, or something, a topic. Same with law of attraction, or, you know, the program that you're doing. You've got so many people talking about different things and how they arrived at where they're at, that, you know, somebody in that series is going to hear something that they may have heard before, but now because of where they're at this time, it's like, wow, that makes sense, right?
Exactly.
Like, I'm all over that one. Okay.
Yeah. It looks like we may have skipped number 7.
Oh, right, we did. Yes, yes. Number 7, super important. Thanks, Amy.
Yep.
So surround yourself. Well, this is what we're doing, right? Surround yourself with like-minded people who make you stretch. Now, I love what you just said, Amy, because you just said that somebody called you out on that. And actually, in this eWomen network group that I belong to in Vancouver, Sandra Yancey has built a fabulous empire for women entrepreneurs called eWomen Network. And when we go to the chapter, I went to a meeting yesterday. When we do these mastermind groups, the managing director always says something like, you know, we want to be called out in this group. If you hear something that doesn't sit right with you, then we want to know about it. Of course, in a very loving way, right? But you know, when you're surrounding yourself with people that make you stretch, they're going to say, like Amy, you and I were talking about people that, you know, I'm coaching or you're coaching, and they're still telling the same story, and they haven't moved away from it, right? It's the baggage that they keep carrying around. You can't possibly stretch and go forward and create a new paradigm with all this stuff that's holding you back in the past. So, you know, sometimes as coaches, I think you would agree that you and I have to say very lovingly, we have to call people on something sometimes. So
Definitely.
You know, it's yeah, and surrounding yourself, whether it's networking or you know, I'm so happy that I've met you, because now I can start to know, you know, your peeps and your tribe, and see who's following you. And you know, everybody's going to be a match for somebody, or there is a match for somebody somewhere, right? It's all about finding that vibrational match. And that's why I say like-minded people. I don't hang out with negative people. I used to.
Me too.
Yeah, I used to, but 35 was my game-changing moment for me, as I told you that story. But yeah, I was just hanging out with well, they were like-minded. I'll give you that, but there was no stretching. There was, you know, it was more closing down and playing small, and it was not a good place to be. So thanks for bringing up that one. Maybe that's number 7. Yes. Yeah.
Here's one little key on to if you want to be honest with yourself about exactly how you feel about a person, because I think sometimes I'm someone who used to really sugarcoat everything, be like, oh, but she's fine or he's fine and they're okay, you know, because we want to stay attached and stay connected. But here's a true test of how you really feel about someone, okay? How do you feel when you see their name pop up on your phone, right? When their name pops up on your phone, when they're calling or texting you, when they're calling, do you go, oh, I'm so excited to talk to them? You know, is it just full of abundance and love and compassion and excitement? Or is it, there's kind of three different layers, or is it, I love that person, but I'm going to wait until later because I need a little bit more energy for him or her.
Yes.
Or is it, ooh, there's no way I'm answering that call.
Yeah.
I'd rather let it go to voicemail. I may not call that person back, or I might listen to it and see what it's about before I call them back. So
Yeah.
it's a clear indicator of how you really feel towards someone.
Exactly. So. Yeah, that's perfect. And thanks for that, Pearl. Yeah, because it's all about how you feel, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, if you want to also take a look at how you feel about your clients, right? If that's the client calling and you go, oh, you know, what do they want or something, right? We don't have a match. We do not have a match, right? Clearly, that's not a good client to have. Okay, number 9. Yeah, this is one we've talked. You and I have talked about too. Consistently. So consistently take action and persist until you achieve your goal. So that's a little bit of that discipline, dedication, and also that commitment, Amy, where, you know, you've set the goal, but you're very committed to attaining and achieving that goal and manifesting what you want. And persisting, right? It's not always a clear, straight path to where you want to go. So
it's never a clear path.
Right. And that's where I think those like-minded people come in, you know, whether you're hiring a coach or just even have a colleague that is a very wise person and you can get some wise counsel from that person. You know, it's like, yeah, I think I'm going to go run that by them, right? Yeah, because it's patience, persistence, and passion. I always say those are the 3 things that really keep you moving forward. And I go back to that number 1, know your why. Why are you in business? What are you passionate about? How are you serving? How are you making a difference? Because if you don't feel you're doing that in your business, then get out of it. Because you're doing us a disservice by saying that you're loving what you're doing, or this is what you have to offer, but you're not very passionate about it. People are going to feel that, and chances are you're not going to be in business that long. And if you're in that victim mode where you have that negative mindset, then you're probably going to blame the economy, the universe, whatever.
Your coach.
Your coach. I can say your mother, your father, you know, it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. Not very often, Amy, would you and I get quote unquote blamed for anything, because that's not the kind of people we attract, right? We're people that, and if that's the mentality that they start with, you know, in those complimentary sessions, I don't move forward with them at all, because they're not a match. So they're not like-minded at all. So that's number 9. Oh, and number 10, I'll give that one to you, Amy, even though that's kind of my topic, but you use it all the time. That's how we attracted, right? Number 10.
Right. Yeah, so use the law of attraction on a daily basis. And, you know, this is, again, one of the many reasons I'm so glad you and I connected, Dana, is that, to me, you're the guru in this. You know, it's just a really great area. And whatever your background, your spirituality, whatever that entails, it's really about being clear, going back to that clarity piece, being clear with what it is that you really, really want, and just making a decision, committing to it, and allowing yourself to receive it, which is exactly what the laws of attraction are about. You're attracting into your world exactly what it is that you are wanting to receive. And so what I noticed when I was first introduced to the laws of attraction is that when I looked back at my kind of these milestones in my life, or these steps, I call them, it's kind of cheesy, Amy's steps. I actually have a file that I started keeping, because I realized that looking back, it's kind of like Steve Jobs always talks about how you can always connect the dots looking back. And so you can see when exactly you put yourself out there for specific things, whether it was a certain job or finding a spouse or loved one or partner or whatever it may be. At some point you set the intention for attracting that person, that experience into your life. And then when you allowed it to happen, it actually happened with great ease, right? When you're not clear, then everything's a little bit messy, and then life is messy. So why not be clear with what you want and allow it to come into your life? But don't just sit back. This is the other part of it. Don't just sit on the couch and watch TV. I really want $1 million, you know, and sit back and do nothing. I mean, that's not an energetic vibration. And so it's really about thinking, I'm going to be clear. I'm going to set the intention. I'm going to work towards it. I'm going to allow myself to receive it when I'm meant to receive it. Sometimes it doesn't happen as quickly as we would hope or want, but it's about knowing that there's a timing for everything.
Right. Absolutely. Right. Perfect. And that's a perfect segue, Amy, into a program that I do offer. And I love teaching women how to deliberately attract, how to remove doubt about what it is they want, because the first step in manifesting is identifying clearly what your desire is. And the second component to that is learning how to raise your vibration, how to remove doubt, how to get rid of limiting beliefs. And the third part of that, as you said, is allowing it. So how do we allow that? How do we receive that to come in? And allowing is actually the most misunderstood part of the law of attraction, because they're very specific tools and techniques that you can use to allow. So if anybody watching or sharing this with anybody, I do have a 4-week program, Law of Attraction for Women, Business Abundance, it's called. And with that program, I'm going to teach you how to deliberately attract. I'm going to allow you to become more aware of what it is you're sending out there and why you're getting the results that you are, so that you can clearly attract more of what you want in business, ideal clients, ideal business model. Get clear. Are you doing something that is really not a good return on investment? Maybe at this time in your life, I can help you get clear on that. So go ahead and check out my website, danasmithers.com/programs, and that will be under the Law of Attraction for you. So I've got something coming up very soon. I have these programs going on all the time. So if you miss one, you can get it at another opportunity. But if you really want to know how to deliberately attract, there is a method to the madness. Or I'm going to say method to the magic, actually. I'm going to say that. So yeah, so those are our top 10. I hope that you got a lot out of them today. I did. I love this conversation. And Amy, I would love you to talk about your program that you've got coming up and tell us when it gets started and how people can, how you're sharing what you've just been doing through. Yeah.
So I'm really excited. So actually you can get free access right now. Really excited to share this. And if you go to miraclebusinessbreakthrough.com, that's where you'll see all the details. But what it is again, how Dana and I originally connected was that I had a team of people that were researching really wonderful experts in business and really inspiring entrepreneurs. And so we came across Dana's website and I read all about her and I loved her energy and we got on the phone, we really connected. So what I'm doing is I'm interviewing 22 highly influential experts in various areas of business. So especially for those entrepreneurs and coaches who are within the first few years of their business, or maybe they're at a point where they're feeling a little bit stuck in their business if they've had it for a while. This is a really great way to get inspired, but also hear the actual miracle business breakthroughs that each of our speakers have gone through to get to where they are today. So they share their stories and they also share tips on how you can become a successful entrepreneur that is happy and abundant. And specifically, we're sharing the top 3 tips of each of our speakers on how to get to that sweet spot of $10,000 or more each month on a consistent basis. So I hope that you will join my panel of experts and me and go to miraclebusinessbreakthrough.com. I think you can see it on the screen here, miraclebusinessbreakthrough.com, and you'll get free access for a limited time for my speaker series. And you can listen to it in your convenience over the next few weeks.
That's fabulous, Amy. I am really looking forward to it myself, right? Because even as coaches, there's always something to learn from somebody else. There's always a pearl of wisdom there that, oh yeah, that really makes sense. Or like you said, maybe it's something that we thought we knew. Oh yeah, I know that already, but you're listening to it going, yeah, I like that, or I'm going to incorporate that. That's great. And I think having that many different speakers is wonderful because not everybody's going to be a match for everyone, but there's absolutely going to be somebody in there that will be a match for you. And, this is where we say, let the law of attraction figure out which ones you need to be listening to. But I think once people get signed up, will they receive those through an email, Amy, or how is that going to work? Yep.
Exactly. You'll receive emails on a daily basis. We release 2 of the interviews each day, and they're all phenomenal speakers. I've so enjoyed interviewing each and every one of you, and I, even while I'm interviewing them, I'm taking notes because I learn from everybody, and we've got experts in all different areas, like I was saying, from social media to SEO to being an investor to, I mean, you name it, we've got it. So yeah, you'll learn a lot from it. I sure did.
Good, excellent. Okay, then that is our time up for today. Interview with Amy Yamada of the Miracle Business Breakthrough Series. That's coming up very soon. So Amy, thank you so much for being on the program today, and being good businesswomen that we are, we'll be posting this and social media. We'll be using lots of different social media platforms to get this out there, and hopefully other people will share it as well. So thanks so much, Amy.
Yeah, thank you. This has been so much fun, and I wish all of you a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye for now.